How much milk and sugar do you like in your coffee, Chris? Because I like a lot. I like, they call, like they say, you know, strong coffee, weak coffee. Oh, hang on, let me pause. I gotta stop Marley from doing something. Marley, get off of that. Okay, I'm back. He was like, Marley's like, what's going on? He's like looking at me like completely confused and astonished. Like, why are you bothering me? Why I haven't done anything? What he did was, like, I have a work laptop and it was open. So he's sitting on the laptop, with, like on the keyboard. So he's pressing all the buttons right on the keyboard. So I walked up to him, I was like, no, you can't do that. And I moved him off and I closed the laptop. But like, you can see from his facial expression, he's like, what's wrong? I didn't do anything. What's going on? I'm just sitting here. What's happening? So he's all confused now. Like he's sitting on the floor, like looking around, like what happened? What did I do? Poor kitty. Yeah. You know, one of the things I think about a lot is what the future will be like once we have super intelligent AI. And one thing is that like if we have like the assumption is we built the AI, right? So like let's assume for now that we've made it like a benevolent AI that wants the best for us, right? It's not one of those crazy killer AIs that want to kill all humans or whatever. So it's a good AI. And because it's so much smarter than us about everything, we might decide to let it become the basically like the governance, make decisions for everything, right? Like how should we spend our budget? Like, you know, what should we research? You know, like should we? Is it more important? Like, if we have $1 billion, should we, you know, spend it on cancer research or malaria research or what, right? Like, what is the most effective? What will lead to the best outcome? All these complicated decisions that right now maybe it's too difficult for humans to make, or like we're making them, but we might not be making the best choices, right? And so if we have an AI government like that, who's, you know, making all the right decisions for us in our best interests, it's possible that the AI might also like come up with some like moral rules, right? Like let's say like an obvious rule might be like, okay, never, you know, don't kill people, don't do violent crimes, that's bad, you know, don't steal from each other. Fine. I mean, we already figured out those rules. But like, you know, not every rule that we figure out is necessarily going to be the good one, right? Like, so for a long time, we considered we considered homosexuality to be a bad thing, right? Like it was morally reprehensible to be a homosexual. And then we later figured out, like, well, not everyone agrees, but I think right now most people agree that actually being homosexual is okay, and it's being what's the word? It's being hateful towards those homosexuals, which is bad. And Iris wristwatch, hydrate. Okay, let me hydrate real quick. Thank you for the redemption. So what I'm thinking is, like, it might be possible that the AI figures something out. It figures out a moral rule, right? It'll tell us, like, do this or don't do this or whatever. And we will be, like, super confused. We're like, why? Like, you know, it doesn't make any sense. Why this arbitrary rule? And what if the reasoning behind it is so complicated that there's no way for the AI to even explain it in terms that we would understand? And so the analogy here is like what I did with Marley, right? Like, I'm telling Marley, like, hey, you can't, you know, from his perspective, it's like, he was just sleeping there, and all of a sudden I come here and then I stop him and I move him. And he's like, why? And from my perspective, there is a reason why, right? I can make a decision of when it's okay for him to sleep on something and when it's not okay. But, like, you know, to explain to him, like the concept of a laptop. And even like some laptops, it's fine if he sleeps on, right? Like, it depends. Did I lock the screen or is the screen unlocked? If the screen's locked, then he can sleep on it and it's fine. And if it's not, then it's a problem. But even then, like, how big of a problem is it? If it's just like a random gaming laptop or whatever, then it's not a big problem, right? But if it's a work laptop where, like, you know, he might be like sending messages to remote Amazon servers, which is going to take something down you know, in the public or something like that, then it's an even bigger problem. Like, and so all these concepts are like really hard to explain to a cat, right? Basically impossible to explain to a cat. And so I'm thinking, like, you know, the analogous situation here for humans, like will the AI come up with a rule that is extremely complicated to explain, such that there's no hope of any human ever understanding the explanation? And then how would we as humans differentiate between, like, oh yeah, the AI is smarter than us, let's just trust it, you know, even though we don't understand, it probably has a good reason, so we're gonna listen to what it says, versus actually we think there's a bug in the AI, it's making some wrong decision and we should go fix a bug, right? Like, it might not be possible to distinguish between those two situations.